Hello, Linda here, back with another video to show you the spreads that I've created for Junk Journal January 2024, and we are in week 3 of January. So I'm just gonna do a little flip through the spreads that I have created. This first one here, following along with the prompts, is actually for opposites. So I was flipping back to look at the prompts, and for the prompt of opposites, I decided to just create a spread where like the left side would be the opposite of the right side in terms of how I would journal. I definitely love like the minimal look, but more often than not, I journal like the right hand side where it's very maximalist. I feel like I need to fill up the page and put more things on, and maybe also just because it's fun, of course, to use my supplies, add washi tapes, add stickers, and just keep going. So that is for opposites where it really is just two different sides of the spread. For the next prompt, it is flow. And the papers that I put in here had this little like security envelope see-through part. So I made sure that I would see through the little sun sticker there. But for the prompt of flow, I just let myself basically do whatever, which is sort of referencing like being in the flow when you collage and have fun and not really think too much about it. And again, you can see that I have this style of just adding a lot of supplies. So those are like collage papers, memo sheets, stickers, all kinds of stuff. And for the next spread, the prompt was whimsical, and you can see that I like from here on out, I definitely had less time during the week to journal. It was literally like 2 minutes in between like doing things for my kids and my freelance work and whatever. And so I decided to like use as much of the things from my stash as possible. So I had these stickers already like printed out, and it's all around the theme of like cactus and motivational, and I just stuck them on. Like it is very sparse, which I guess is a bit different. But I thought that the cactuses were like whimsical in nature. The next prompt was borders, and I started out creating this right hand side border of like coffee washi tape, and then I went into my alphas, and I barely ever use my alpha stickers anymore, so I took like all the punctuation parts and just added them on there to create another border. And on the left hand side I have craft paper, and just journaled a bit about remembering to celebrate successes even if they're really small, and drew in like a little line heart border as well. So there's just like a lot of borders on this spread in general to follow with the prompt. And I definitely tried to follow the prompt as like a jumping point, but then let myself sort of interpret from there. The next prompt is actually interactive, but I skipped it and did nature because of this paper here. I thought that it fit the prompt of nature better. But then once I got into it, I no longer was interpreting the prompt like literally about nature, but rather the concept of nature versus nurture, and sort of journaled a little bit about that. So even though the look of the page seems to be about like wildlife nature, I'm actually journaling about like human nature versus nurture. Like, is your personality genetic or shaped by your environment? And obviously I think it's a little bit of both, but I think it's interesting learning about how people say that's a bias if you learn what is part of your nature and then you like sort of use that as excuse to be like, well, that's part of my nature, so that's how it is. And I think we do that a lot. We just say like, oh, I'm not a morning person, so you just sort of discount it. But is that really true? Like maybe you don't think you prefer it, but if you wanted to, you probably could become a morning person. Like it's all very It just sort of all depends, right? And I don't know, I was just journaling about those thoughts in general. And I thought it was a very interesting way to interpret this particular prompt. And one thing I realized in doing Junk Journal January is that I like having the prompts as a jumping off point, but it is very like disconnected in terms of like spread by spread. I'm just approaching each prompt spread by spread, and there isn't necessarily like a connecting theme for this entire book. And obviously, as a creative exercise, as just having some creative fun with journaling and doing Junk Journal January, I don't think it has to like be something, but I'm so used to having like themed journals. I sort of like felt like I wanted all of this to have like some kind of cohesive thing. So I went back and did the interactive prompt for this one because I just thought it fit the papers that I had better. So I used a craft envelope to make like a little slip pocket so that I could put this postcard in and journal on the other side. So it's sort of like hidden journaling, and very simply the idea of interactive in terms of you have to pull it out to read the journaling. But very simple because, again, I did not have a lot of time this past week. So it really was just like a quick, like, what can I do? And, gluing, sticking, and, journaling and getting my little fix of collage and journaling in for the day kind of thing. But yeah, I realized that in doing all of these prompts and things that I wanted some kind of theme to connect all the different spreads, even though I'm following the prompts. And I think in the end, I am very much journaling about like motivational things and about my creative, fun habits and what it is that I want to get out of it. So you can see that a lot of the way that I'm interpreting it is a lot of journaling about my own creative habits and what does it mean to be an artist and what do I want out of it all, and maybe some motivational and inspirational thoughts as well. So the next spread is for peeking out, and I decided to make a little flap on the right hand side so that the bottom little inspirational be brave girl is peeking out. So I just took the prompt to mean that. And it was just using the things that I have in my stash. So this illustration is something that I illustrated and printed out. Like I already had it printed out in my stash. I had some watercolor dots and I used that for the flap and journaling on the inside. And just did some collage on the left side with stuff that I had on my desk. And again, you can see the theme here is, it says be open to possibilities. Just a lot of thoughts around creativity and all the creative things that I do, and what it means and how I can motivate myself and inspire myself and keep it going. So these are the spreads that I did for Junk Journal January this last week. I hope that you are doing well, and if you're participating in Junk Journal January, leave a link down below if you have videos. I would love to watch it. And next week I will be back to review like the additional pages that I add on. And even though some days I don't have a lot of time, it's nice like afterwards to see like, well, I did something, and it doesn't have to be like super fancy or super complicated. Everything is valid, and it's just good to do something, even if it's just like a stolen 3 minutes to glue some things on and then come back later and another 5 minutes to like journal and glue something else on. So I definitely am appreciating this whole Junk Journal January. So thank you so much for watching my video. And if you didn't know, I'm a digital designer. I have all of my printable pattern papers for download in my Ko-fi community, so you can link there, become a member, and access all of the printables that I post there. There's also freebies in the shop and other things that I will be adding as well. So I appreciate your support there. And of course, I have completely free downloads on my blog, tortagialla.com, years and years of totally free printables that you can use in your journaling. Thank you so much again for watching my video. Hit the like button and subscribe for more. Until next time, thank you so much.